There we go. All right. This is Wellness Wednesday, Caring for the Caregiver. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Jennifer Bertram, and we're going to be talking about some tips. And I just look forward to hearing from all of you that have been caregiving or maybe supporting and a friend of a caregiver. It's really for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we're going to get started. Okay, here we are. This is I'm gonna move this out of my way. This is my family. This is Megan, who is the person that I caregive for 23 years now. And my husband is alongside me every step of the way. And we're gonna talk about some tips. So if you're a caregiver, you are a superhero. So I hope you feel like you have your cape on tonight. And I just really am very honored to be alongside all of you because I know how hard caregiving can be, but I also know there's a lot of blessings along the way. So we're going to be talking about all those kinds of things. So caregiving statistics, it's pretty massive. If you are a caregiver, you know that there is a massive increase in caregiving in families, especially. And this was taken in 2020. And so I'm sure the statistics are much higher, but an increase of 9.5 million people are caregivers. That is a really huge number. And I feel very strongly that, we're not really supported a lot, and it's very hard to do that. Hang on one second. Of course, I get a phone call right when I'm starting this. So 1 in 5 families are caregivers. That's quite a few caregivers, right? And so it's really affecting a large amount of people. 61% of people are also working in caregiving. And that is a really massive thing for a person that's navigating so many things. And when you're dealing with any kind of a condition, you're learning all these new things, right? And then you also have to work. And so there's just a lot there. And there's financial burdens, emotional burdens, and we also know that people that are caregivers can have worsening health. I'm actually dealing with that right now, and I know over the decades it really impacted my health. So that's why we're talking about caregiving for you today. So I just wanted to briefly just go over the grief cycle and talk about what this means, not to bring a ton of attention to it, but to be knowledgeable and to know that it's actually a thing. Give yourself some permission to be able to go through these things without wondering what the heck is going on with me. But this is actually something that was discovered a while ago, like decades and decades ago, by a person by the name of Dr. Kubler-Ross. I had the privilege of actually meeting her back in the early 2000s as a therapist. And she developed this for people that were going through grief. And as she got into her work and started talking to more and more people, she realized that this grief cycle actually is for the person that has the condition as well. So when you think about taking care of yourself, which is super important, but think about the person that you're caregiving for, like what they're going through. So that will give you some pause in maybe how they are handling things, or maybe how they're physically feeling, because they also go through this. So if you've ever had any periods of your life with grief, you know that it can come in all different forms, and it can come in the strangest situations, and it can just last because that's what it does. You can get stuck in a stage, and you can go through all the stages in all different orders. And I can remember some specific times when I was going through grief. It was pretty significant. I definitely went through anger. I've definitely gone through depression. I've gone through all the steps and then back around a whole bunch of times. And what I have learned, though, over the years, as I've either gotten smarter or just accepted it more, I'm not sure which, they seem to be not as intense. Probably because I am accepting our life, and that doesn't mean that doesn't come with like a lot of sadness at times, or like why is it that everyone is going on vacation when my vacations are looking like this, or something like that. So this is grief. Don't feel like you're not alone, but that just to be knowledgeable about it, and if you want to learn more about it, certainly do that. All right, emotions. We can have all kinds of emotions, right? We have a lot of positive emotions, which I hope you have more of than the negative ones, but we certainly have all those other ones as well, and they really root into our being. And we have to be really, really kind to ourselves about all these emotions and be able to deal with them. So I kind of took some of these slides from my sweet friend Renee, and I did a caregiving class a while ago, and she had these great suggestions for different types of grief. And so this is a great one to take a snapshot of if you'd like to do that. But this is really great to be able to have. So when you're going through something, that you can kind of say, oh, well, some of these might be helpful. Or even if you are an oiler already, you could be looking at these going, yeah, I'm really drawn to that. I wonder if I guess I'm in this kind of a stage, right? I'm definitely drawn to all the ones in depression. I have to say that word doesn't cross my mind a whole lot, but I am really drawn to those oils. I can see some in acceptance. I can see some in denial. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm in all those stages, but you can start to have knowledge. And then if you're fairly new to oils, this is just some of the basics of the science behind how powerful aromatics can be with our emotions. And if you have been with doTERRA for a while, and you've been using them, you know that personally they impact you in a very positive way, right? So you're going to inhale that essential oil. It's going to go right up to your olfactory bulb. It's going to go to your limbic system, which is in your brain, and then it's going to go to all your entire body and your cells. So that can happen very, very quickly. It's 22 seconds that it gets into your molecules, 2 minutes into your bloodstream, and then 20 minutes impacted every cell of your body. So there is science behind it. And I'm really glad that I have these tools at my fingertips. So no one's under stress, right? Here's some other ideas for stress. And I encourage you to reach out to the person that invited you to this class if you want to learn more about these. If you don't have an account, or you're new to oils and you're like, hey, I might need to get this oil now, Balance, for example. So these are some suggestions. All of these oils I use, with the exception of Citrus Bloom. That one is in a roller that I have in my purse, and it smells amazing. I just don't use it that much, but I love it. So these are all really, really good ones to be able to take advantage of. These are for fear. I know for me, I get fearful when I make changes with my daughter, because she can be impacted pretty significantly with her physical health. And so these are good ones to help you with that. Another good one to take a snapshot of. Lavender, of course, we know all about that one, and frankincense, the king of oils. Wild orange is very energizing, but some of these other ones you might not have. That might be really, really supportive for you. And they're giving you some suggestions on how to use it. This is a really great essential oil resource. It's called the Essential Emotions, and it's one that's available, I believe, on Oil Life. Don't quote me, but we can get more information for you if you're interested in it. But you basically look at the emotions, and then they'll give you like some recipes and some ways to use it. It's a nice one if emotions are what are really affecting you. So, when you go on the airplane, they always say, put your oxygen mask on first, right? And I can honestly say that I don't always do that. And but I'm really encouraging you to really think, well, what do I do to take care of myself? Like, what could I do better at? Because you want to be able to care for your person in the best way possible. And the only way you do that is if you're well, right? So here are a couple of suggestions for what you can do. And, I think the biggest one is that we need a really good health, and we need to take care of our bodies um, as much as we take care of the person that we're supporting and caregiving for, right? So, making sure that you're eating really good whole foods, that you're using your supplements, your lifelong vitality, your MetaPower. I love to start my day with a prayer. I have one of those prayer days that I got from my mom. And so I pray every morning, and then I have it scheduled into my phone. So I pray for certain people and things that are on my heart. And then I also love to keep all of my oils at my bedside that I use, and it's growing. So, and then it changes up around, but keeping things where you're going to use them is really, really important. And then a nice one to add to that's very simple is eucalyptus in your shower. It smells like a spa. And I'm not gonna lie, when I smell eucalyptus, I feel like I'm getting a massage. I'm at one of those real bougie, like, spas. And for a moment there, I'm kind of in la la land, right? So even those small little tips, like for showers and things like that, really can add up to support and love on yourself, right? Um, let's see. We like to diffuse our happy oils. I mean, those are the oils that are really going to uplift us. And being in Wisconsin, where I am, we have a lot of days that we don't have sun. So diffusing those also helps with seasonal affective disorder as well. So if you happen to be in a sunny place, good for you, and you are lucky. But that's another like kind of layer. Make sure you're fueling your body with really good foods like proteins and greens and fiber, moving your body, and then of course support, getting with people, connecting with people, friends, and support groups if that is something that blesses you. Sleep. Sleep is really important. And this is another one to take a snapshot of if you want to. These are all kind of basics in the oil world, but if we don't sleep as caregivers, we are not going to function well the next day. It doesn't matter like how old you are, what you're going through. Sleep is critical for us to repair, right? And Serenity soft gels are a really good one. I love Aroma Touch. I do that. I tend to have a kind of a tight neck, and so I do that variety. And I made myself a little roller ball as well. And then getting your room ready for like the evening for sleeping, getting your oils into your diffuser, have it going about 20 or 30 minutes before is going to kind of set the mood, if you will. And then trying to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Other ones that really can support you are vetiver, peace, bergamot, and that whole list there. And you have to experiment with this. Everyone's individualized, right? And so I'm really into vetiver right now. It's on my nightstand. And if you got the BOGO box, you got the vetiver touch, which is super convenient. And if you could see like my office space, I have like, like 25 oils right here, and they're kind of scattered, but even on my nightstand, I have so many. And so, you know, experiment with that a little bit. So I just want to give you a big hug from virtual world and some love. I know this is Valentine's Day, but I really feel like we need to love ourselves a lot when we're caregivers. And I don't think we all do a great job. I'll speak for myself. I'm not always saying to myself, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm always like, what's the next thing? What do I need to do next? So these are some great recipes that you can just love on yourself and just say, hey, I'm gonna do this for me today. It can be that simple. So you can take a snapshot of that one. And I saw this on one of the other Wellness Wednesdays, I think it was. I just was drawn to this brain dump that makes so much sense to me. And this would be a great one to try. I have to tell you, I have not tried it, but it sounds amazing. And I think that we could all benefit from a brain dump, right? No matter what you're dealing with. Having some roller balls, which are like these, they're 10 ml with some essential oils and fractionated coconut oil in them. And what they do is they allow you to put the oils where you want to put them. And so we have a lot of bruises in our house from falls and things like that. So having these things done up ahead of time so that when you need them, when they're emergency, you need them like that, right? So that these are some good ones to have in your repertoire if you're dealing with those kinds of things. And bath salts, of course, with any oil, but frankincense is just so bougie. Stress management, we know how much stress we're all under, right? And these are all just some kind of basic things that we've already kind of talked about. But practice mindfulness is really important. And you can see, hopefully you can see the small print, but it says consider diffusing adaptive, arise, arborvitae, or frankincense for a mindfulness practice. Being active, really, really important. It doesn't matter what it is, just move. Whether it's walking or hiking or walking on a treadmill if it's cold out, or chair stretching, just even yoga, like simple stretches. All of those things are super good for stress management. Unplugging, and then of course eating right. Here, these are a few of my routines that I do. Most of these things we've already talked about, so I want to just kind of highlight getting maybe some apps on your phone. There's a great one called Soul Meditation, and then the Bible recap if you're a Bible reader. That one is really nice because it actually will talk to you. So if you are brushing your teeth or taking a walk, you can actually listen to it as well. And then it has a podcast that will go with that lesson, which is nice. Some other ones that I want to highlight is social dates with friends and family that are not caregiving friends, people that just know you in a different capacity. That's really important. And I have to say that that is a very small percentage for me, because people mean well, but they think, well, it's so hard for her to get out with her husband. She's probably not going to be able to do it. So in turn, they don't invite. So when you have those opportunities, definitely take them, or even ask people, hey, let's get together, right? Respite from family or paid people, super important, very, very hard to do. If you're in that world, I've been doing this for a long time. I pray about it all the time of having the right person come to our house to be able to support us, to support my gal. But it is not an easy road. And if that's something you ever wanted to chat about privately, I'd be happy to do that with you. And then of course, really getting hope from prayer, meditation, and Bible study, and being around people that can really support you in that way. So some things to consider. I think really everyone can get something out of professional help, and that's it's such a great one to do in all different walks of life, but especially for caregiving because we do give so much of ourselves, and there's a lot of junk that comes up in our life, right? Ask for help. I know for me, I'm a very independent woman, and that's hard for me to ask for family and friends. And when I ask for them, I want them to like give me a good answer, right? um, the caregivers or partners or husbands, they really handled this journey very, very differently than us women. And I just want to make notice to that. If there's any men on the call that are in that position, I see you and I see what you're doing. And it's important that we have like really great conversations, non-defensive conversations with how we each work, right? And I know my husband and I have worked long, long years on communicating and being forgiving and about how we are parenting, our daughter. So that's something I think that could be another whole topic, in my opinion, along with siblings. If you have a child that you are caregiving for, siblings also have a very different journey, and we don't always see what they're all going through because we haven't gone through it, right? Lastly, explore new passions or rekindle old ones that you forgot about. Like, what do you love to do? I personally love to be in the woods. I love to be moving. I love to read, but I can't always focus because I have so many things going on. But maybe this week you explore something new or something that you really have loved to do that you kind of put behind the wayside. Um, and that'll really will love on you. I know for me, I really have lost my purpose along the way at times, and I think it's smart to like just think about it, like what is my purpose. I'm pretty clear on what my purpose is, but I want to be able to do things that really fill me up. So you have to look for that. And these are some things that I just thought of. This is from obviously my point of view. You certainly probably have a lot of other great ideas. But the one that really calls me is redesigning and rediscovering who I am. And that one is one that I'm constantly talking to myself about, like who I am and what do I want to be, because we're always evolving. So I've been really lucky because I've been able to tell my story to a lot of people. And I've been in the company of people at the national level to be able to tell people about caring for a child with a chronic illness. And I've been able to do some advocacy work at our state level in Wisconsin. But I also think it's kind of our, maybe not responsibility, but I think it's a role of ours to be able to tell people about what you're going through, because that's about education. And people don't know when they're not going through it. They don't know how to handle things. So I think that when you have the ability to tell your story and have a person that will listen, I think it's very cathartic, and I think it can really, really help. This is something that I've kind of stumbled upon through my decades, is looking back, which can be very painful, because not everything. Well, I know looking back it was definitely very, very challenging, and then to look forward to see what am I doing, where am I going, how much better are we doing. And then it also brings up emotions of, yeah, some areas are the same, and being able to be kind to yourself and say, I'm doing the best I can, and this is what I can do. But I think getting that reflection of looking behind and going forward gives you some really good insight, and it gives you encouragement too. And then along the way, you can be in the most intense situation. There are always blessings. And I just encourage you to keep your eyes open to look for those. because if I hadn't done that, I would have missed a lot of them. And there's a whole, long list of them that I have incurred over the last 23 years. One being a handful of women that I met back in 1999, 2000, and we are still friends. In fact, I just went out to dinner with them last night. And so finding those blessings, finding your community, we kind of already talked about, whether it's the national or local organizations, parent to parent, if you were supporting someone that is a child, that is an incredible organization. I actually am a mentor for them. If you ever want any more information on that, you can refer yourself or your doctor, or any health professional can refer you. I can always talk to you privately about that. And then this is for people that would like to be a good friend to a caregiver. What I found along the way is that people, sometimes just they don't make that effort, and they're not really sure what to do. So these are some things that you could do for someone that is dealing with some of the complexity of being a caregiver. And there's really nothing like really like outrageously great about any of these. These are just like simple, like little things that you could do for someone. And I think that some of the biggest ones is just be careful the phrases that you say, that you don't minimize what they're going through. I know people mean well, but sometimes they just don't know what to say, and that's the way I handle it. And including them in plans, we already talked about giving people encouragement. Just asking about their day and like connecting with people. I think even before COVID, with this whole caregiving thing, I just feel like connection is like so key. Lastly is laugh. Laugh is such a great, it's a great medicine. Clearly I don't do that enough. And then this is just the last thing. Your mind is really powerful, and if you think of blessings, you attract blessings. When you think of problems, you attract problems, and try to be as optimistic and positive as possible. This is my email if anyone is ever interested in getting a hold of me. And that is it. I'm going to stop my share. And I thank you. I know we went a little bit long, but you can tell I'm passionate about this. And if there's any questions, we are gonna give away a roller ball for anyone. And I should have mentioned that in the beginning, but it's the hot mess roller. And Rita, did you have someone that you would like to bless with that? Was there any questions?
Anne is our winner.
Who?
Anne.
Ah, nice.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. This is a great class, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you.
Really good.
I appreciate that. Do we have any questions? I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, I don't know how to do that exactly. There we go.